Hey, I'm Jenny. This video is an offering on a grounding meditation. I like to keep my introduction short, but if you want to know a little bit more about the why, stick around after the meditation and I'll go over that with you. But for now, we're going to get started, so find a quiet and comfortable spot. For this meditation, I suggest sitting either in a Sukhasana easy pose or in a chair with your feet flat on the ground. But if neither one of those options work for you, just be comfortable so that you can enjoy the process and not worry about your body. So once you're comfortable, I'm going to invite you to take a deep, slow breath into your belly. So some people call this a balloon breath. And what you're trying to do is breathe instead of here in your chest, like many of us do. You're trying to force the breath down into your belly. And so it actually helps if you place your hands there. And you're trying to take a slow breath and fill the belly up as if it's a balloon. And then you're going to slowly exhale. On the exhale, you're going to close your eyes with me. So we'll go ahead and do that. If your breath is a little faster or slower than mine, that's okay. So let's take a deep breath. And a very slow exhale out the nose as well. I would like to invite you now to actually place your hands on your stomach, your belly, your tummy, whatever you call that area, right around the navel. So it could be a little above the navel, a little below, but I invite you to place both hands there. And take some more breaths into that area and really allow yourself to focus on just the breath for a moment, filling the belly or the rising of the belly, either way. So we're going to take a breath and we're going to focus on filling or the rising. I'm going to give you a moment to do this a couple more times on your own. Thoughts are bound to come up. You may even be questioning why you're doing this video. Why did I sign in for this? Why am I doing this? Recognize that those thoughts are here and observe them. Don't try to force past them or get angry with yourself that you're having these thoughts. Thoughts are just normal. Everybody's going to have thoughts. So let them go, notice them, let them go, and try to return back to the breathing. Remember, if thoughts come up, simply observe them, acknowledge them, let your mind know you'll get to them later. Right now, you're just focusing on the breathing. Some people like to count to keep their mind from being distracted. So you can count how many it takes to go in for your breath and count how long it takes to go out for your breath. Whatever makes it more comfortable for you in this process. Your to-do list, anything you have to do before this, or anything you did before this, or anything you have to do after this, you'll get to. But your only job right now is to focus on your breathing. So I'm going to take you through a body scan, and what that means is, with our imagination, our mind's eye, we're going to put our focus on whatever part of the body that I name. And so you're going to try to focus on that part. If thoughts come up or you find yourself not focusing on that part, that's okay. It's all part of the process. So we're actually going to start on the belly because that is where our hands are. And you may keep your hands there or let them go to the side or in your lap. So focus on the belly. How does it feel right now? Are you hungry? Are you full? Is there a feeling of discomfort? Is there shame associated with this part of the body? Just allow whatever to come up, and try to really put your mind's eye on that part of your body. Breathe into the belly the best that you can. What is it like to have your attention here? What thoughts or feelings come up when your attention is here? I'm going to be quiet so you can see what comes up for you. And if you get distracted, focus on the breath. We're going to radiate this breath and this focus down to our pelvis and all that's associated with the pelvis. The pelvis, the hip, where the legs meet the body. If you have a womb, it's where the womb is. We're going to focus on the pelvis. And if you know what Mula Bandha is, or you know what a Kegel is, you can give yourself that gentle squeeze in the body to help you focus your attention there. Feel around with your mind's eye in the pelvis, the tip of the tailbone, the coccyx, the genital, the buttocks. Really feel in this part of the body. What feelings come up, what thoughts, what emotions. Take a deep breath there, slowly filling your air in, slowly letting the air out. If you get distracted, let it go and be quiet so you can really focus there. Some people will have colors pop into their minds or words, images. Just notice what's coming up, even if it seems odd or strange to you. We're going to now move our attention to the thighs, the legs, the front of the thigh, the back of the thigh. If you can, gently squeeze the muscles there so that your attention will go there. And take some breaths, just feeling what comes up. These are the largest muscles of the body. What feelings or thoughts are coming up? Take a breath in that area. If you can imagine your breath going into your thighs, Wonderful. If that's too weird for you, that's okay too. Just take a deep breath. Next, we're going to take our attention to our knees, the front and the back of the knee, and the same thing with the thighs. If you could kind of squeeze your knees or move them in a way that helps you physically bring your attention there. And then you're going to take some breaths there and just see what comes up for you, what comes up having to do with the knees. There's no wrong. We're going to now move our attention to the lower legs, the shins, the calf, the ankle. You can give it a squeeze or flex your toes, point your toes to help your attention go there. And we're going to take some breaths and just see what comes up in this area of the body. Our attention now goes to the feet, the tops of the feet. Wiggle the toes, flex the feet. Take a breath. What comes up at the top of the feet? Now we're going to move our attention to the soles of the feet. So the arch of the foot, right in the middle. If you want to try to flex there, try to feel there. And if you do have your feet available to be placed flat on the floor at this point, you can do that. You can actually do that and let it be a stomp, like really let them fall to the floor so you can really feel the sole of the foot. Then take some breaths and just see what comes up here. This is actually a minor or a new age chakra at the sole of the feet. So just see what comes up for you here. Take a breath into the soles of the feet. As strange as that sounds, that's what your imagination is for. Just see what unfolds. If you can, place your hands back on your belly and take a deep, slow, long belly breath like we did in the beginning. And if you can, repeat after me aloud. If not, in your head is fine. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I'd like to have you take another deep breath. Flutter the eyes open. Notice where you are in the room. Take note of anything else that's coming up. And I also invite you, I think one of the best times to write or journal is right after meditation. So I really invite you to take a moment, if you can, even if it's just on your phone real quick, to jot down some initial thoughts and some of the things and images that may have come up for you. And if you'd like to know the why behind this practice, stick around. So I've been meditating for over 20 years, and there's a lot of grounding meditations out there. There's a lot of conflicting information about grounding. The most common grounding meditation is to imagine roots coming from the soles of the feet or the coccyx going into the ground, connecting you with Mother Earth and helping you ground. And I have a meditation like that, but this meditation that I did for you today is actually born out of the realization through studies and my own life that most of us live here. We're here in this area of the body. We are in the mind, reliving the past, planning the future, whatever. We're very mind oriented. We're not in our bodies. And to me, when we think about grounding, grounding is coming down from the ether, emotional situation, thoughts running away from you, being up here somewhere. It's about taking that, pulling that down, and grounding it. Well, that's what the body is for. And when we really go into the body and we know what's happening in the body, we are grounded. That's what that means. So you can of course connect with the earth, which is very popular to do, but you can also just go within your own body and center within yourself. We started at the belly, that's the center. That's your solar plexus. That's actually like the center of your power, the seat of the power. That's where we can really take whatever's going on, funnel it into that part, and then we went through the legs to the bottom of our body. So we took our attention from up here, wherever it was, and we've channeled it into the body. And we did that through focusing on deep breathing, which calms the nervous system. We did that with squeezing muscles so that our brain had to focus on that part of the body instead of whatever was running around up here. Now, what I invite you to do is take note of some parts of the body you didn't want to inhabit. And that's significant. So like if, for instance, if you really had a hard time being in your belly because of shame, I'm picking that one because it's very common in our culture. I'm American, so very common for women and men too, but being a woman, it's very common for us to not want to be in that belly area. We just feel a lot of shame about having a belly or anything about eating. There's a lot going on there. And so, for instance, if you really had a hard time being there, that says something, right? That's a part of the body that actually needs a little more love and attention from you, no matter how hard that is. And it kind of goes with the whole thing. A lot of us walk through life completely in our heads to the point that we're disassociated with our own body. That's how people get sick. That's how people, have terrible accidents sometimes, or they'll just be shocked to get to the end of the day and realize, oh my gosh, I didn't even drink any water. Like, that's how this happens to us. We get trapped up here and we're not checking in with our body. And so to me, grounding means taking the abstract and being up here in the clouds, taking that and focusing it back down into the earth. And the earth part of our body is like the lower half. That's like our earth part, right? And our celestial part is like from here up. And so if we can bring our attention into that lower part of the body, we ground and we feel grounded. And so I invite you, if this was difficult for you, I invite you to do it again. That's kind of the opposite of what we want to do, right? If a practice is difficult, then we're like, oh, she's terrible. Like you can blame me. That's usually the common thing, right? She's terrible. She doesn't know what she's doing. I'm never gonna do her meditations again. That's fine if you feel that way, right? But really, when things are hard for us, there might be a reason, especially when we're on a healing path. That's what I've learned. If it's difficult for you to be in your body, then you probably should spend more time practicing that. And so I really do, like I encouraged you at the end of the meditation, to journal. I think it's important, especially to determine what part of the body you had a hard time inhabiting, what repetitive thoughts came up, what were the thoughts that just kept coming up that wouldn't allow you to be in your body. If you skipped over any parts of your body, if I told you to be in your knees and you just never were in your knees, why? What do you think that means? Can you think of that? And if you don't know now, put some questions for yourself. What's the root cause of this? Or why did I have such trouble with this? And think on it or pray on it and see what comes up. But, you know, a meditation to me is just a gateway to learning more about yourself. It's healing. It's not just a one-off, like, okay, I meditated, that's it, nothing. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond just the act. And so let that happen, let that unfold for yourself. And I'd like to hear from you. So if you have a comment, I'd love to hear that. If you have a suggestion for your future meditation, I'd also love to hear that. And I'd also appreciate a like or a subscribe. Have a good day.